tonight we are going to be painting the Anzac Wreath, and I've started off a bit early. Don't panic if you're tuning in and you think you've missed it. I've started off early. I'm not going to start painting till a bit after 6 o'clock. I just wanted to start off early and make sure everybody had a chance to get in here. So I'm actually, and a bit of black because the background is, I've put that much black out, so that one's the black, because I'll be using that, we'll use that later too. We won't use too much black, but let me show you this. The wood, I've gone for a little bit of an ashy colour on the wood, so there's a little bit of black in there, and there's a little bit of black in the flowers and stuff, so we won't need much black. Yeah, all right, so I'm just going to start with that. We're going to start with the big brush, the big flat brush. Those who are interested, it's a size 20 brush, and I got these and all the brushes that we use at the Pickled Paintbrush at Bunnings in the craft aisle. So there you go. I like them for you can buy some brushes that seem like the similar quality and they cost a lot more in an art store. So go Bunnings, we like that. So we're just going to start by wetting the brush in some water. And I'm just going to get some white paint and start painting. And look at that, I've got a wobbly easel. Don't you love that? I'll fix that in a sec. Now I'm just going to dip a tiny bit into the brown. Now look at that. That's how tiny it is. I'm going to use more, but just for now, that's how tiny it is, right? I'm just going to start doing back and forths with a little bit of the brown. Now, if you put too much, right, I think that's probably a bit too much. Then I'm just going to go back into the white, get a nice dollop of white, and just go over and kind of mix it up. And we want to keep the brush strokes going across because that's going to give us the wood pattern. If you've already drawn your circle, sorry guys, I should have talked about this before I started painting, but you know, I didn't. So some people, if you've already pre-drawn your circle, if you use the I did mention to use one of these Posca pens, and sorry, I should have talked about that. So if you've done that and it's already dry, yeah, awesome. If it's already dry, if you did it just like 10 minutes ago, just hold off because it needs to be really nice and dry. If you did it yesterday or earlier today and you know that it's dry, just paint straight over it. You'll still be able to see it through, which is all we really need. If it's a little bit wet, if it's a little bit wet, then the paint is going to start to spread into this. But we are using a little bit of black paint to make it ashy, so it might not be an issue if you've done that. For those of you who didn't pre-draw your circle, I did mine freehand, and I've got a little trick to show you how to do it. Even if you're not good at doing circles, it'll be okay. Don't panic, it'll be okay. Right, thanks for back and forth. Now you might want to have your planks going the other way, right? But I would suggest, for me, and maybe it's different for you, paint it this way because I think it's easier to keep your lines kind of straight if you're doing them across. If you're doing it up and down, well, it's up to you. Maybe you find it easier to do it up and down, but I find it easier to do them across. Now, that's better. Slightly. I've still got like a noise. So we're going to cover the canvas, and you know, if you want it to be a little bit darker, well, that's what I was going to do. I was going to show you. So this is a Christmas wreath that I did, and you can see the wood, it's a little bit darker than the ashy one that we're going for today. So it's totally up to you. If you want to do it a bit darker, then you totally can. I don't know which bit is actually making the noise. Oh, never mind. We're just going to keep going. So we're going to fill up the whole canvas. If you want it to be darker, use more brown. If you want it to be lighter, use less brown. And we're going to keep on going. Just adding a bit of brown. Using a lot of paint so it blends nicely. So we're just going to keep doing this until we've covered the canvas. How's everybody going? Is everybody keeping up? Is everybody doing okay? Hi Kathy, how's it going? Oh, I can't see. I have to stand up. It's a bit of fun. I might put a little bit of more of the black over here. Oh. Whoops, that was a lot. I know what that is. It's actually the canvas banging on the easel because I haven't got the top thing holding it. But I want to turn it around, so I don't want to... Hello, Auntie Chris. I don't want to lock it in because I want to be moving it all the time, so... And I've just realised Magic's asleep in his little bed there. You just heard me say his name, so he moved. But he's doing his little snores, so I don't know if you guys can hear that, but... If you've got a dog and they snore and it's loud and it annoys you, you need to cherish those snores. Because if there were no snores, if your dog wasn't there, there wouldn't be any snores. So I love it when he snores. I think it's him saying, I love you. I wouldn't think the same thing if it was a partner though. Sorry guys. Okay. That's looking pretty good. So now what I'm going to do is I want to give the illusion of actual planks. So this kind of looks like a big piece of wood, but I want it to look a bit like planks. So I love these brushes. They're round brushes. This one is a size, I don't know if it's a 6 or a 9. I can tell you. That is a 9 and this is a 6 because it's smaller. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. I just really like these brushes. So what I'm going to do now is, with this brush, I'm going to get a bit of, I'm going to wet it and get a bit of the brown. A little bit, make it a little bit watery, and then we want to do, so I'm saying that's probably about 5 planks. It doesn't really matter. Hey Pip, how are you going? It doesn't really matter how many you want to do. You could even do it really thin if you want to do a lot, or you could just do 3 maybe if you want to have it doing 3. But I've just got some brown paint on this brush and I'm just going to kind of rest it on there. I'm just resting it on there. See how I'm holding it? I'm just holding it like that. I'm resting it there and I'm just going to let it, I'm just moving my hand down. I'm not even telling it where it's going. I'm just letting it go. It hasn't gone all the way to the bottom, but that's okay. And it's not even straight, so it doesn't matter because this is just a board. And again, I'm going to go again, just letting it fall down. Now you don't have to do it that way. You can just paint it if you want to. One more. And it doesn't even matter if they're all the same width, these planks. And then you can even do it this way, just. There we go. Now, if you've painted the sides, then we want to paint that line around the sides because it's the edge of the plank. So we want that to go around the side. So then what we can do is I mixed up a little kind of a dark grey colour, making it kind of nice and watery. If you can see, that's kind of watery, and just probably and go over it again. And you don't have to do the line all the way because you know, planks of wood, you get your shadowy bits. So now I'm going to add a little bit of white to that, make the grey even a little bit lighter. You don't even have to. And you can just go and do some little kind of really soft, just with the tip of the brush, just a few little dashes on the planks, which look like, you know, where the I just know you've been a million times, but you know, I still got to ask the question because I only want it for people who are in the purple circle. If you've been to a Pickled Paintbrush event, you know my logo, which I haven't even got anywhere here at the moment. My logo is has a purple circle in it, so you're all in the Purple Circle Club or the Purple Circle for life. So that's why I called it that. All right, so that's basically my circle. I'm going to hold that a bit straighter, so you can see it's not exactly perfect, but it's totally fine for what we're doing. Now, how's everyone going with their circles? It's the Riot Art's own sort of brand is El Dorado, so pretty much the same. Although I think the quality is a little bit better of the El Dorado, if I'm honest. So now I've got a nice bit of paint on the brush, and we're just going to make some leaves. So all we're going to do is it just takes one little dab like that. And we're just going to now go all the way around. Now these leaves that we're doing now, you're probably not even going to see. Oh, it's dark green with a little bit of white that I mixed in. Yeah, so these leaves that we're doing now, you probably won't even see at the end. Now it looks a bit like Caesar's headpiece. I don't even know what you call it. This is just for us to get an idea. It just takes one little swish to do a leaf, and we're just going to keep building them up and thickening up the wreath a bit. Now don't do them all in the same direction. Well, you can if you want, but it's going to have a different look then. And we're just going to keep, I just dipped my hand in the light green paint. See? Just because I'm taking class doesn't mean I'm immune. That would be an awesome idea, hey? Because they are my favourite brushes. Luscious. Gosh, that was very art classy, wasn't it? Funnily enough. Now, if there's any part where you think they look a bit funny or they don't quite look like leaves, actually, it's a good idea to spin it around too, because you might be better on one side than the other. Oh, thanks, Leanne. If there's any leaves where you go, so like here, I think that's kind of a bit, it hasn't got a nice finish on it. I mean, I don't really mind, but if you've got something like that where it looks a bit gooby and you don't like it, do not panic. We're going to put a big flower over that later. There's always an answer. There's always an answer. So it's all good. So to do that rosemary style stuff, and I'm going to do them all around the outside and the inside. I'm just going to do, I don't know if you can see, one line like that. Heaps of them. So I've just done a thin line like that, and then just with the very tip. So think about when you're putting your eye makeup on and you just want to use the tip of the pencil or the brush. That's how delicate you want to be. And I'm just going to do, I'm going to kind of do it opposite. Like that, I think. If you're doing this along with me, make sure it's a nice dry spot of your canvas, and if you haven't got a dry spot, time to whip on that hairdryer, and if you haven't got that, well, then just watch. So I've got white paint on there. You can see there's quite a bit, well, a bit, and I'm just going to do, that's the middle of my flower, so I'm starting, I can get it closer, I'm starting away from it, and I'm just going to flick that into the middle roughly, and then see how I'll get a nice kind of a petal if I do that. And I'm just going to keep doing that, all about the same size. They're roughly about the same size. Now, instead of twisting my arm around to do the other side, I'm just going to turn it around like this. Now I probably need some more white paint. And here we go on this side, it's about there. You might want to start, turn it around like this so I can see exactly how long the petals are. Don't worry if it's not perfect, right? Because rarely are the flowers actually completely front on a wreath because it's got that curve, so it doesn't matter if they're not exactly perfectly the same. Flower. So this one I'm going to do, it's like a little kind of a little, I don't know, let me just do it and show you. 5 petals, and again, same thing. I'm always using the tip of the brush for the end of the petal that's on the outside. So there's 1. Now I'm just going to twist it around, 2, 3, and then turn the canvas, 4, 5. Now that last one is not perfect, doesn't matter, doesn't matter. I'll just do a little one. To start off, it's just a little circle, like there, just a little circle. Just kind of hidden in. kind of it doesn't have to be a perfect circle either, just a bit of a roundy shape. Never mind, I can fix that later. See, that's what the brush looks like. It's kind of white on one side and purple on the other, and it's just, I don't want them to look really square though, so, you know, but however they look is however they look. I had intended to do, you can fill it up, Karen. That's kind of all the main flowers we're going to do, and we are going to put other little bits in as we go. You can always add more flowers though, but if you want to just follow along so you can see how to do these ones that we've done, then leave a bit of room. Oh, I forget what I was saying. Sometimes I'm in middle sentence and I read someone's comment and then I lose my train of thought. I should really be able to do more things at once. Anyway, let me show you, and Natalie, I'll do the small ones again in a minute. But right now I'm going to show you the gerbera situation. So I've got this brush again. I'm going in with some, this is warm red. Just, I don't know why I'm showing you that. Warm red, and I'm going to just basically go over, move that this way, just basically go over those white petals. And I want to cover up all the white. Can't see it when I do it over there. Basically covering that up. And then we're going to leave that to dry, and then we'll come back and do the centre in it later. So